Hello? TNTMTheShow presents Comicast 355 with your host, Pablo Gunner, and I am here to talk nerdy to you about this week's comics, which is September 12th of 2018. And it looks like there might be a lot of books here I have stacked up. So I'm going to hurry up and get into this, try to knock this out as quick as possible. So I have a grade scale when I review, and it's strong by, weak by, strong skim, skim, weak skim, passes pass. Then the best book of the week we call the B-Bow, back and bag of the week. And then we have a runner-up to that. I usually announce that stuff at the end. And then you also hear me say things like contender. Hey, this is a contender, and it means it's contender for back and bag and or runner-up. So, yeah. That's, I think that's, oh, spoiler alert. So there's going to be at least minor spoilers, probably big spoilers, maybe big spoilers, depending on how much I get into it, especially if I do it, if I'm really into it, you know, or if it's my B-Bow runner-up, I'm definitely going to spoil it. I'll try not to spoil that much until the end, though. So, but yeah, I do have a minute timer just to keep me on time, just in case, so I don't go too crazy. DC, Marvel, indie stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into this, okay? I'm going to go ahead and start with some DC with Detective Comics 988. We have Robinson Segovia Plasencia. And so this one is just Batman, and he's just helping out with a regular case. There's just a regular murder, and he's like, there's nothing regular about murder, you know? And he's like, yeah, I guess true. He's working with Gordon doing that thing. He's getting back to the basics. I really like that. That's pretty cool. So, but this feels more like a Batman issue than it does a Detective Comics issue. You have Firefly, the two Fireflies, the female Firefly, the male Firefly, and stuff. So, and then there's other people that are going on that are killing and getting involved in this. So, I don't know. This just seemed like a departure from what had been going on, which is the team stuff, which is the Black Lightning and all that. I don't know if this is just like a 2-issue thing or what, but I was liking the way it was going, so I'm a little disappointed but it was really awesome. It was really cool to see it back to basics, but I kind of was hoping they would do that. See, like I said, it just seemed more like a Batman issue than a Detective Comics issue, so the way that it has been going. So that's all. So I want to... It looks great. It reads really good. So I'll give it a strong buy, not quite a contender. All right. Next is Runaways. We have Rainbow Rowell, David LaFuente, Jim Campbell. So different artist, and we have a certain somebody, Wilder, Alex Wilder's back, and then these things that are looking for the Pride, and then like the offspring of the Gaborum or something like that. And then and it's like them facing off. Alex is leading the team, and it's going pretty well. Some of them are fighting him, which is completely understandable. I don't know. The art is what threw me off the most, because the art was just, I was just in love with the art. Chris Anka is just phenomenal. So it's really hard to compare and be on that same level. Now, I still feel like they did a pretty solid job, all things considered. I still enjoyed it, and they brought up a lot of interesting things, so which I hope they will tackle. They should tackle in the next issue. So we will see. And that's my timer. So yeah, I mean, I give like a really, I don't know. It's like I give you a really solid effort, man, for trying to pick up the reins after you know, Christopher Anka, but like it's just like he's so good that it's really hard to compete. Still a solid job, and then be with this kind of like new arc going on. This is probably a decent point to jump on. Not the best, but decent. And so yeah. Yeah, so I can give this one, this is another one. I'll go ahead and give it a strong buy, but not a contender. Here's the digital code. Tell me what you think, because I'm not getting anybody telling me what they think about the comics that I'm giving away. W for Wesker, S for Saiyan, I for Icarus, 1, M for Mac, 2, S for Saiyan, X for X-Men, 5, L for Logan, W for Wesker, 4. Let's do another DC book. I want to do The Flash, number 54, and it's Williamson Deuce Guerrero, and now he's the strongest man alive. So he's all jacked and stuff, but he's slowly learning his powers. I like that. And this cold is attacking him. He's also fighting with Trickster, and it's just like a whole crazy mess, but he's starting to learn these powers, shrink himself down, you know, by expelling some of that energy, and he's trying to help Trickster too. So that's essentially just him figuring out these powers, going like, well, how did I figure out my powers? Maybe we can apply some of those things to him, to these and stuff. So it seems like he's getting back to who he is. And Trickster as well. So yeah, it's really cool. It's really interesting. It looks really great. I really enjoyed it. But it's another one. I just feel like it's a strong buy, but not quite a contender. It just like they're just, you know, there's just not a lot going on. It's a lot of back and forth type stuff going on. So yeah, cool. All righty. So yeah, now I'm going to get into Infinity Wars number 3. And this is Gary Dugan, Mike Deodato, Frank Martin. And we have Gamora. She has all of the Infinity Stones. And she is now collapsing the universe on itself, like folding it in half and combining all the, like, well, not, yeah, combining people into one so that there's half the people. Kind of like, yeah, the Thanos thing in the movie, but different. And so you're like, what? Why is she doing this? This doesn't make any sense. Like, she just wanted the Soul Gem to find out what's going on, and instead she's doing all this stuff. It's not really making sense. But if you read the Thanos Legacy issue, it makes sense because of something that they teased, and I think she's being controlled by Thanos partially. And so that's what this is about, like his legacy living on. So now it's going to be all these characters mashed up when I'm like, oh, this just sounds like a cash grab. Definitely, especially considering the people that they have on those titles. I'm like, those are not top-notch writers. You know, that's not a top-notch creative team. I'm probably not going to check those out because I don't care. And so, yeah, and then just Loki and in this universe, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. Go talk to the X-Men and stuff. So... yeah, it's one of those where I'm like, okay, this took a turn for crazy that I didn't expect nor cared for or wanted. It might turn out to be good. I don't know. It's just like, oh, all right. I don't know where it's going. That's the biggest thing. For me, there's a lot of confusion. Why is she doing this? Where is it going? How come? You know, it's just not making a lot of sense to me right now. So I can't give this that high of a grade, at least not as good as I have been. So I can give this one maybe, well, it looks great. It's still interesting. I don't know. It's a buy. I'm going to give it a buy. I'm going to give this one a buy. Here's a digital code. Tell me what you think. What grade do you give it? F for Familia, C for Carlos, N for Marcos, R for Rigoberto, Z for Zorro, A for Alamos, 9-1, Q for Quintana, I for Ignacio, 5, R for Rigoberto. I don't know what's going on with books this week, or it's just me. So, Hawkman number 4, it is Venditti, Hitch, Curie, Henriquez, Skipper, and now he's finally like on Thanagran, I don't know. Whatever. And then there's these giant like Hawk Sentinel things, and then they just obliterate these things. And then it gets to his time, and then he's fighting himself, you know, he's like, oh yeah, I can tell you about your dad and all this stuff. And he's like, that doesn't prove anything. You know, they have a tussle, and he's like, well, I'm looking for this thing that's giving me clues. And he's like, oh, you know about that stuff too. Okay. So somebody comes to help the guy, and so he ends up finding this artifact that he was looking for, this clue, and then somehow he gets stuck in the microverse with the Atom. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I like it. It's a lot of fun. It's different. It's enjoyable. It's interesting. So it's really cool. I like it a lot. I don't know much about the HAWKMAN, so this is really cool. This is a great intro for me to just get like a lot of these timelines and all this stuff going on, and it's fun and it's enjoyable and it's pretty intense too. So yeah, I can give it a strong buy. I can definitely give it a contender. Now this book, interesting. Champions number 24. It's Zub Izaksi Menzies Arciniega, and so they're taking a break just for this issue, I think. And essentially, this issue is about there's a school shooting. Miles goes to it. He wasn't there. He feels guilty because he wasn't there. He's like, I could have done something. They even explain, you know, this kid just went off, was popping off. You couldn't have done anything about it. You couldn't have saved anyone, even if you were there. There's no way your reflexes would have been that fast. And then you would have been outed and all these other things, you know, there really isn't anything you could have done. And so then all the other kids are like, what do we do? What can we do? You know, and everyone's dealing with it in their own ways, you know. Ironheart, she's like, I've seen this kind of thing before. There's, you know, shootings in my neighborhood or, you know, people I know and stuff. And everyone's just like, we need to be better. We need to find a better way. We need to, you know, just find a way so this doesn't keep happening again. And I like it. It is a little, it's kind of pushing an agenda. I think it's an important agenda to be pushing though. So this is one reason that I enjoy comics, is because they're willing to go and make it political. Comics always have been. So if you're the kind of person that doesn't like politics in your comics, well, you're into the wrong thing, because it's been political and it's been, you know, social this entire time, since its beginnings. So yeah, you're just wrong, pretty much. You're on the wrong side of history probably as well. Anyways, yeah, it's great. It's interesting, you know, but at the same time, it doesn't really, what do you do? What is the solution? But at least it gets you the gears grinding, you know, turning to come up with something. So yeah, anyways, I give it a strong buy, give it a contender. I didn't really mind that they took a break. So yeah, it totally works. Tell me what you think about it. Here's the digital code. F for Fantastic, C for Cable, M for Marvel, 4-5, W for Wilson, 3, F for Fantastic, Y for Yank, F for Fantastic, Q for Quasar, R for Richter. All right, let's do another DC book. I'm going to get into Supergirl number 22. I will say I enjoyed this one more than the last one. It is Andreco Maguire Plasencia. This one, she does don that outfit that they teased with the other cover, so I'm happy about that as well. And so there's a lot of crazy stuff going on with this weapon. So it apparently just like morphs to the user, to what they need it for. And so she's there to see the lanterns to get this information, but she's not being completely honest with them. And so like this weapon's just transforming, you know, for her or just on its own. And so they think she's being, you know, she's being crazy, she's being lethal, and they're like, you know, they're attacking you. And then she gets this message and stuff. So right now it is really interesting. It is really solid. It looks really great. I like it. I want to find out more. This is good stuff. So it's definitely worth checking out. So I give it a strong buy. I give it a contender for sure. So yeah. Yeah. And then I'm going to get into Darth Vader number 21. It is Sol Kamun Khalid Orlandini Curiel. And so this one's weird because this was just going into like the architecture of his thing. And then there's a person that's like the architect and they're like, yeah, I don't know what to do, you know, for this guy. But like, I guess just try to get to know him sort of, even though he's hard to get to know. So I know what he wants for his temple or for his home or whatever it is. And stuff. And so he goes to Mustafar and he turns the shields off for that ship and it gets cooked. It's all black and crispy on the outside. And he's like, oh, that's better. And she's like, oh, well, now I have a kind of idea of what you want, you know, and stuff. And she comes up with this idea and he's like, nope, stupid. And then there's this story that's revealed about this mask and that the Emperor gives to Vader and is like, hey, this is an artifact. And it's because this Sith, you know, is unknown and stuff, and is like possesses people and stuff like that. And so that thing creates the design for his new thing. It's really cool. It's really dark. I love Sith mythos because it's so unknown. It's so cool. And then to even find out about something that is like kind of taboo by both Sith and Jedi, because of the fact that this guy is like this Sith is like so different than most Sith, that kind of like just did whatever he created, he didn't destroy. And so they're like, oh, that's not a Sith thing, you know. But the Palpatine's like, yeah, that's why I look up to him, is because I'm creating this empire, you know. It is just great. This is gold. This is just great stuff. It's a strong by its contender. It's really, really awesome. So yeah, it's yeah, for sure. I'm gonna hold on to this digital code just because of how great it is until the end. Let's see. Next is Plastic Man number 4. It is Simone Mello Fitzpatrick. And this one, you see what happened to that girl that this mobster was trying to turn her into Plastic Man. Now, like, she looks like kind of like concrete and stuff. She's like, my skin's so itchy. Plastic Man's with this kid and is like, hey, you know, get some food. And this, like, it's a hot dog, but they call it the Aquaman or the Atlantis or something. Like, I don't know. It's just funny and stuff. And he takes him for clothes shopping, tries to get him dresses, and then he invites this girl to help too, but she's like, the kid's like, I don't want all this girly clothes. I just want clothes. And then the other girl's like, then go pick whatever you want, you know. And I just like that. It's really cool. And yeah, and then the Plastic Man faces off against this cabal again, but then is like, oh, we're not really enemies. I don't know. It's weird because it's like, then this secret person's like, oh, that was just a lie, but then it's a lie to cover up the truth that is the lie, sort of. So it's really weird and it's really interesting, kind of confusing. And I don't know. It's weird because it's like, it's slow, but it's finally getting somewhere at the same time. So I don't know. But yeah, it's really great. It's really funny. It's enjoyable. So I can give it a strong buy. All right. On to Domino, which is also Gail Simone. We have David Baldion, Jesus Abertov, and then this guy that's complaining about the food still on this barge. Kicks off the chef. But anyways, so and so her friends are like, yeah, we're gonna go find her and stuff, and she's with Shang-Chi, and this lady shows up and is like, I'm gonna take you out. And this one is Nina, and she just goes off on this girl. She's like, I'm learning how to use my powers now, and I'm going to do it. And she's like, you know what, you won't stop coming after me, you won't stop coming after people I love, you won't stop, you know, so I'm gonna end it, I'm gonna deal with it. And so she does. And that's crazy to see that they will go there. You know, I miss like kind of like the Wolverine approach, the old school Wolverine approach, which was, I'm the best at what I do, and what I do isn't very nice, you know, and he just straight up kills mofos. And that's what she does, but she does it because, like, I don't want you to continue to keep on coming after me. I'm constantly looking over my shoulder. I'm constantly worrying about my friends, my family, you know, anybody I love, care about. And so Shang-Chi's not cool with this, but it's kind of like, you know what, I can deal with that because at least he was not going to be at risk, you know, and stuff. So I'm interested to see more. This was a great first arc, and to find out who the mole was, which was that guy that was on the barge and stuff. So yeah, yeah, it's a phenomenal book. This is another one. It's a strong buy, and it's a contender. This is another one I'm going to hold on to. Let's see what's next, which is Sideways. It's Raynor, Didio, Scott, and Brown. And this one is a little confusing. They're in the dark multiverse, I guess, with this crew, this weird crew. I wish they would have like reintroduced them because I kind of forgot who they were. I know there's like another Mr. Miracle, this bullet lady, that the kid with the cat from Teen Titans that's evil, Zatanna. And yeah, so there's these creatures. They're kind of like mindless things, and they're supposed to come after them. And Sideways' powers aren't working, and they're like, all right, we're just gonna get you out of here. So they get him out of there, and he's like, I need to get back. You know, I need to get back. So yeah. And it's just crazy because then he's actually teleported to this other dimension where they're like, oh yeah, we kind of have this protector king type thing, and just be cool with it and get used to it and stuff. And it's just, I don't know, this was another one where like it was very different from what's been going on, so it was confusing to me, and I did not like that, so that bugged me. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. I still like it. It still looks great. I still find the character interesting. That's not the issue. It's more just kind of everything else. So yeah, once it gets clarified, I think it'll be better. So yeah, that one is one I'll give this one a buy. I'm just not sure about it. It looks phenomenal though, and still, yeah. So okay. Now on to Fantastic Four number 2. It is Slott, Pacelli, D'Amico, Martegrazia. And this one, so you get the backstory of where the Fantastic Four, well, not Fantastic Four, Future Foundation, rather. The whole Future Foundation has been. And so Franklin has been creating this universe along with the help of the Future Foundation. They've been recreating the universes because remember it was a multiverse and it got destroyed because blah, blah, all that Doctor Doom stuff. And so they finish it. He's like, I'm done with this work. And then this lady shows up and starts destroying all the universes that he just created. And so they're chasing him through all these things, and this lady's just super powerful. They try to face her off. They get their butts whooped. People are getting hurt. You're seeing all these universes get destroyed. It is absolutely phenomenal. It's crazy. It's intense. And she's like, oh, I didn't think the Fantastic Four would be so easy to beat. And he's like, Reed Richards is like, oh, really? Well, this isn't the Fantastic Four. This is the Future Foundation. These are a bunch of kids, random scientists. This is not us at our full potential. So you want us at our full potential, then let us do that. She kind of pulls like a Vegeta where she's like, oh, and then let Cell go get fully powerful. Like, that's essentially what she's doing here because she's dumb. So that's what happens. That's what happens, and that's what we see. And so that's what connects the first issue and the last issue and then some, and that is phenomenal. Strong buy, contender, without a doubt. And this is another book. I'm holding on to the digital code. Alrighty. Let's see what's next. Next is Superman number 3. It is Bendis, Reyes, Reese, Prado, Albert, Sinclair. And so this one, we are finally getting things to be clarified a little, and I am so glad because it was like, if stuff doesn't start getting cleared up soon, I'm getting the F out of here. And you gave me exactly what I needed. You have Livewire here, and she shows up at Star Labs, and she's like, oh, I'm just here to steal something, and it looks like you guys already messed something up. They were messing with the projector, and that's what happened. So, and then Rogolzar has found this other Kryptonian criminal and is like, hey, I know you. I know of you. Let's team up. And the guy's like, screw you. I know how this place works. You don't. Beats him up and his whole crew. And he's like, all right, you ready to team up now? And he's like, okay, yeah, sure. So, and then they're like, what's the deal? This is, the Earth got sucked in. He's like, how did that happen? I don't know, but it happened. And so now we're going to get our revenge on Krypton, destroy the Earth and all this stuff like that. And all the while, like, the Justice League and Superman, they're all trying to figure it out so they can get out too. And they're all like slowly starting to die, get poisoned stuff. It's really intense. It's really crazy. It's really awesome. I love it. It's a strong buy. It's a contender without a doubt. All right. And then on to Iceman number 1. It is Grace Stockman-Blee as the team. And so, oh man, I liked the other artists so much more, but this is very similar And so it's a very easy and smooth transition. He's just like out and about. He's in the dating world. It's not working out for him too well, which is kind of weird. And then he does this training with this young X team and stuff. And they're like, he's like, hey, I found this flyer. The Morlocks, you know, need help and stuff. Can I get a team? And they give him a team. And they're like, oh, sorry. It was like the next morning. Like, oh, we had to take them all. You only got Bishop now. And like, you guys got this. So they go down there, and then these people that are mutants that are trying to kill mutants. It's mutant on mutant crime. Really awesome. And so it turns out to be we're trying to kill all the mutants that look different, that look weird, that don't look human, you know, because they make us look bad. And so it's like it's really messed up. And they're like, hey, Iceman, you could be our poster boy because you're so good looking, you're so cool, and your powers are awesome and stuff. And so they, you know, they face off against them, and you see who's at play in all this, you know, who's obsessed with that, you know, kind of stuff. So anyways, this is, I don't know, like skimming back through it, I enjoyed it more than when I read it. Because when I first read it, I was like, I don't know, I just felt like the other series had more heart, or it built up something, and like they kind of killed the momentum. But this guy's really doing a good job of picking up that momentum that they left off with. So it's really great. I'm glad it's back. I'm really glad it's back, and I'm glad with what they're doing and what they're letting him do with this. I can't wait to see Spider-Man and the Amazing Friends as part of this, because Iceman was, you know. So yeah, strong buy. You know, I don't know. The art at times bugged me, so I can't quite. I'll even give it a strong buy, but not quite the contender. I'll go ahead and give the digital code. Tell me what you think. T for Tomas, M for Marcos, A for Alamos, P for Pedro, J for Jacopo, Y for Yucca, H for Hector, 7, 1, R for Rigoberto, B for Barrio, and for Nueva. Let's see what's next on DC's plate, which is Immortal Man number 6. It's Kirkham, Tignon, 4th, Prianto. And so you have this lady, the sister of the Immortal Man, and she's like, oh, I'm calling this council together. And they're like, oh, we don't do that. You know, we are not going to meet for a long time. And then she's like, oh, but, you know, the Immortal Man's dead. And they're like, how? And I found a way. And so she's trying to get control. And then this person, this group that hasn't been for like 10,000 years, they're like, nope, you're not going to take control. And it gets to the present stuff and kind of connects the stories. He's actually doing training with this mask. This mask is teaching him all these things, all these fighting styles and stuff. And then these people show up to fight them. And they're like, we need to get out of here. We need to destroy this thing and reveal the truth to everybody. They're like, yeah, we've always just survived in the shadows. And they're like, yeah, but that's not working out that well for you. And we have to do something. We need help. So that's what they do to reveal these people that are attacking them, this lady that's trying to take control. And it's really awesome. And so the Justice League's like, now we know about these people, you know, what's going on and everything like that. It's really crazy. It's really awesome. It's really interesting. I like how they tie it all together. So it's pretty fantastic. All right. So yeah, I give it a strong buy and contender. I was like, I don't know if I care about this. And then by the end, I was like, I'm back in it. Like every week that issue was like that with me, where I'm like, I don't know if I really care about this. And then I get sucked in every time. So it's really, really cool. And it's just constantly feels like you could jump on it at any point, really, kind of. So yeah, strong buy contender. Now I'm going to get into Peter Parker the Spectacular Spider-Man number 309. It's Chip Zdarsky, Chris Bacalo, and then all kinds of inkers. So we have Sandman, and we have like this alternate dimension, or this other universe trying to take over Sandman. And so at first you're like, that doesn't make sense. This is weird, all this stuff. And then you go, oh, because they travel dimensions, and this grain snuck through and is taking over this Sandman. He's like, I can't fight. I don't have a physical form. He's like, I need a physical form for my body. That's how I was able to do this. So Spider-Man lets him kind of like use his physical form. And he's like, hey, Torch, I need your help. You know, I need you to turn something into glass and, you know, work on that multi-sect thing, you know, because to close the universes. So they're working together to do that and stop them. And they go into the water, and they're like, oh, you think I've never done water before and stuff. And so you think like, oh, Sandman's dead now officially, but you're like, I don't know, and it's revealed at the end, but you don't know if he's going to be good or he's going to be evil, and that's it. My cats are fighting, or Tiny Rick's trying to attack my other cat. It's not my cat. It's actually my wife's cat. Tiny Rick's trying to take out Memphis. So anyways, yeah, it's pretty solid. I liked it. It was interesting. I like how they made more sense in this one, and they connected those dots. So that was pretty cool. I would give it, I don't know. I feel like I can give it a strong buy, but not quite a contender. I was just like, oh, okay. But we'll see what's to come. I think it'll get better as it goes on. Yeah, it was really intense. I like how they all work together. So yeah, here's a digital code. Tell me what you think about it. T for Tomás, M for Marcos, A for Alamos, T for Tomás, N for Novela, 4, M for Marcos, A for Alamos, S for Señorita, 8, I for Ignacio, 3. One more DC book. It is Teen Titans number 25. We have Abnett, Peterson, March, Plasencia, and then what is the other one? Medry. And so this one, they're like, okay, so emotions change. They're like, emotions change this, so if you remain calm, it'll be easier to control these energies. If you get crazy, you won't. So this one was another one where I was like, if this doesn't change, I am bailing on this book because I'm tired of reading it and it seems like the same crap over and over again. And so I'm like, all right, but so there's these 3 different events going on, these 3 different things, and so they split it up into teams to each deal with them. And so you have McGann and Nightwing dealing with a situation with this one lady. You have this other guy, they just send Don Troy to deal with this guy, and then there's this giant mech robot thing that's they send Raven, Beast Boy, and the Steel Girl. And I'll get into it more later for sure. I'm just gonna leave it at as a strong buy and a contender. All right. Now it's time for a commercial break, and I'm going to talk about one of our sponsors, which is Gamers Anonymous. And Gamers Anonymous is phenomenal. I love me some Gamers Anonymous. They are a retro gaming shop, but not just retro gaming. They have some new stuff. I actually went to Super Gamers Anonymous, which they're still copacetic. They still have meetings and stuff. They still work together. And I picked up Captain America and the Avengers from over there for the Sega Genesis. It was $25. I've been looking for it for a long time. It had the box and everything, so I was like, I have to get this. This is my chance. So it was great to be able to achieve that. So yeah, that was really cool. So yeah, and anyways, Gamers Anonymous, you can find them on the east side. It doesn't have the freaking address here. I don't know how you have this. And it's not here. So yeah, but they're usually open from 11 to or 10 to 8 p.m. You can call them at 505-332-0717, or you can go to the website at garetro.com. There's this saintly man, John Sakura, who I love it because John Sakura was there at the shop. And so I talked to him. He loves to talk. He just loves to talk video games. Like, that guy is so passionate about video games. It's just so wonderful to talk to someone that's that passionate. It was great because I got to ask him, I said, why do you think that the Wii U bombed the way that, even though the Switch is almost the same thing, except that you can take it farther, obviously you can take it outside the home. Like, why do you think that bombed when they've released a lot of the games for the Switch are re-releases? And they're like, oh, just the way it was marketed. And then both the guys that run the shops were pitching in just back and forth, and I was getting double teamed with this stuff, and it was phenomenal. It was great. And then he talked to me, oh, what are you playing? How you been? Everything. Really sweet people, really sweet guys. So you should check out both Super Gamers Anonymous and Gamers Anonymous. For sure, call them. If you need a game, if there's a game you want, they'll put you on a list, to get the text. When they get that game in, they'll text you, first come, first serve, you go get it. They also have a thing where Cats, that's where I got Crazy Tiny Rick over here. You can adopt a cat for $25. Animal Humane Society, they work with them, and that's at both shops. They do that, so you can go visit them. You know, they kind of like foster them and see if you like the cat while you're checking out video games. So I can't wait to go back, honestly, and check out more games and stuff. I miss going to Super Gamers Anonymous and Gamers Anonymous. So yeah. Anyways, make sure you check them out. Like them on Facebook. Join their community group because their community group is phenomenal. Every time I ask a question, there's always like 10 people that answer and help me out, and at least one of them is the right answers or the answer helps me in some way or another. So yeah, check them out. I'm going to get back to books, and I'm going to get into The Weatherman #4. Jody LaHaye, Nathan Fox, Dave Stewart. And this is another one where it starts with some people that I don't know, and so I don't really care, and it doesn't make sense to me. And then it connects the dots. Then, like, you go, oh, okay, so it's this lady that's a secret agent. You see, like, how her family died. She's actually having like, a horrible nightmare. And then she goes to get help from this guy that they introduced at the beginning of the book. She knows him. I'm going to assume that they were married or whatever. They had a kid together or something. I'm not exactly sure, but that's what it seemed like. And so they join up to find this Nathan guy, but somebody else finds Nathan before then. And they're like, oh, we have this machine hooked up to him. You can kill him as many times, but you can only kill him like 100, or he's like 10 times, and then his brain turns to mush. So it's like this thing, you know, they're trying to make a lot of money off of it. It's weird because they introduce like all these characters at the end, most of which we haven't met, or like we've met like maybe half of them. So this was another one. This is another one. It departed from the main formula. When you go and you start the issue with some random thing that I don't care about, whatever, I don't care. I think if you would have started with the lady's story first, then jumped into that guy, you know, you probably wouldn't even have to go into that really, because you would have just been like, oh, she's just going to this guy. You know, I don't know. I feel like they're slipping a little bit. You know, they're taking. It looks phenomenal. It's still really interesting. I can give this strong buy, but not quite a contender. Now, I'm going to get into Journey into Mystery #1, The Birth of KRAKOA. I actually skimmed this because I was like, I wasn't sure about it. But I was like, Dennis Hopeless is a writer. And then like I said, I skimmed it, saw the art, and was like, okay, I have to get this. It looks like a classic one. It's kind of like, it's the Howling Commandos that get crash landed on the KRAKOA island. You actually see it like right before it got bombed and got transformed into this thing. But I thought it was a living mutant. Anyways, you see, and these things are growing on it. It's just like weird, and it's gross, and it's creepy, and it's kind of like spooky and scary, and it messes with your head. And it's just, like I said, it's just the Howling Commandos on KRAKOA, and he makes a deal with KRAKOA, like, hey, we won't talk about you so they don't do any experiments on you. I'm sorry they did this to you, you know, all this stuff. It's really weird. It's really interesting that you do end up going back to normal, and like, yeah, it's just nuts, and it's crazy. Yeah, so I liked it. I don't know if it's like, it's not like a must have, but it was really cool and really interesting. And so crazy one shot. So I don't know, like, I kind of want to give it a strong buy. Well, I want to give it a strong buy. It looks phenomenal. It's really interesting and all those other things that I mentioned, but I'm like, it's not a must have for like a comic. It's just like, where does it fit in, you know, other than just being a really interesting, crazy one-shot, you know? Tell me what you think of it. I can give it a strong buy. Here you go. Y for Yank, T for Thomas, W for Wilson, 9, S for Super, B for Bravo, B for Bravo, N for Nova, W for Wilson, K for Kill, 7, P for Pain. Alrighty. And then I'm going to get into another DC book with Catwoman #3. And this is Joelle Jones, Allred Blanco Calis. And so she's in this city. These people are at this party, and these people are talking to her, and they're like, hey, we'll make this deal with you. You can stay in the city. You know, this whole family of like rich people, they're like taking these weird drops that are drugs that make them strong. And then this couple where the guy, he's in politics. This couple's in politics, and he's like, yeah, I have cancer. you know, I'm going to take a break and stuff. And I don't really care about that. And then just other stuff going on. I'll be honest, you know what? It gives her backstory, like she started really low and how she met her first husband and stuff. But I'll be honest, I didn't finish this. I just kind of lost interest, and it looks phenomenal, but it's just like I don't really care. It looks great, and it's just I just don't care about a lot of the characters. Even Selena, I'm not caring too much, and I'm not caring about the story, and I don't know where it's going, and I don't know why it's going, and yeah, so looks great, and there's certain things that are intriguing about it, but not enough to keep me interested. So the best I can do for this is a strong skim. All right. Now to get into The Amazing Spider-Man #5, Spencer Otley, Rathburn Martin, and oh man, this and what's so great about this is this. I feel like this gels so well with like the Spider-Man game I've been playing lately. It's so great. And so, anyways, you have Peter Parker, and he's like, I'm gonna die if I don't combine myself with the Spider-Man anymore. And so he's like, but I can't steal that thing, and I don't know how to operate it anyway, so I don't know what to do. So he like leaks this information to his roommate, and his roommate is Boomerang. So he gets Boomerang to steal it for him, and then he steals it from Boomerang, and then he shows up to Spider-Man, and he's like, oh, hey, you know, we need to talk. And he's like, I already told you I'm not talking to you anymore, whatever, and stuff. And Peter Parker ended up saving Spider-Man's life. And while these Tri-Sentinels show up to attack them, and he shoots the ray to combine them, and you're like, I don't know if this is gonna work. It does work, and it's really awesome. I love just the Mary Jane stuff too. Peter Parker Mary Jane stuff is phenomenal as well. And then this person at the ending, I enjoyed it a lot. It was pretty crazy. It's kind of all over the place, but I love it, and I find it's really interesting and really enjoyable. And yeah, I think it works really, really great. So I'm going to give it a strong buy. I'm going to give it a contender, and I'm going to hold on to this digital code. Now on to The New World #3. I know I did miss issue #2, but I did read it before this. So yeah, now it is Image Comics. It's Alescott, Treadmore, Heather Moore, Clayton Cowles, Tom Muller. So this one, he's like, I need to go into your brain. I need to, do surgery on you and take out this chip or whatever that's controlling you, or, and stuff. And he's like, all right, well, I didn't have to take it out, but, I did hack into it. So now they can't control you. And they come up with this plan because she's like, I'm not leaving without my cat. And they're like, all right, well, we already know what they're going to do because we hacked into their thing. We know who's going to be there. We know what's going to set up. Turns out this guy is actually an old war buddy of his dad's. And so his dad and this girl, they all go to this apartment to get the cat, and it's an all-out fight. It's pretty crazy, and it's pretty intense. I will say the art is confusing. I wouldn't say I kind of want to say messy, but messy isn't the word. It's just confusing. There's so much color and there's so much going on that it's overwhelming. And that's what it's like. I just need to pull it back a little more for that fighting. For the fighting stuff was confusing, and not that I was just like, I don't know what's going on. Stop, like, okay, whatever. So it's still really interesting. It's still really cool. I like it. It was really good. I can give it a strong buy, not quite a contender just because of those tiffs, like I said, with the art. All right. Next is Exiles #8, and it is Saladin Ahmed, Joe Quinones, Joe Rivera, and stuff. And so this one you get everybody. It's a regular. This is the perfect jumping on point. And it's weird to say that because it's like at the end of a story arc, sort of, but it's a great jumping on point because it recollects all the previous issues in this one issue by telling each person's story. Like they recollect what's been going on since the first issue, but they don't get too heavy into it. And they also go into each person's own pasts. Now, it's a different artist, but it ends up working out pretty well. You have these Watchers that are putting them on trial, and this trial seems like it's BS, like it's already pre-planned and stuff. It's really cool to get a lot of these characters like Agent Carter. You get her backstory and you're like, why would she be the new Captain America? She's not even American, you know, but they explain it and it works. And well as other things, T'Challa's backstory. And so, yeah, they're like, yep, we're going to send it to you to Annihilation. And then they're like, oh, you're rogue. I bet you're rogue watchers. And they're like, no, we're the only ones willing to do what's right, you know, with you deviants, time deviants. So really awesome, really cool, really interesting, really crazy. And then something crazy at the end happens, what seems like some kind of Disney stuff thrown in there. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. So I like it a lot. It's a strong buy. It's a contender. Tempted to hold on to this digital code, but I'll give it away anyways. F for Familia, C for Carlos, M for Marcos, T for Tomas. I think it's 8. And then X for Xavier, 5, E for Eleuterio, N for Novela, 2, D for Diego, L for Lupita. All right. And I'm going to... That's it. That's it for the DC comics. So, yeah. So now we can just get into these Marvel books now here that's left. So, yeah, I have not Captain Marvel. I want to see her become Captain Marvel eventually. But it's Miss Marvel number 34, G. Willow Wilson, Nico Leon, Ian Herring. And so we have Bruno. He's like, something's going on. All these timelines are revealed to him. And he's like, oh, my gosh, she's borrowing. The way she embiggens and shrinks is by borrowing. She borrows her powers from time. You know, and that's how she does it. And someone has messed with time, and that's why her powers are messed up. He thought it was because of him. It wasn't because of him. It was because of the Mitt Man. No, the Quilt Man. No, that's not him. You know, that guy. Shocker. And so he's messed something up. He's doing this crazy experiment that's messed with time. He has like some time portal, and that's what's messed with the time. Throws her into the portal. Their singularity is there, which if you read the, gosh, what was it? A-Force, which was all lady force. It was awesome. And so, you know, yeah, and then they're pulling out her time, put her back, and they get back, and she goes back to fighting him. But things are messed up. Like her arms won't retract. And yeah, it's just crazy because he's trying to come to grips with his it's just crazy. It's just intense, and I can't wait for the next issue. It's really awesome. It's a phenomenal book. It's a strong buy. It's really intriguing too. I like how they're adding more to her power set, sort of, but like how she does it, getting to that. Yeah, strong buy, contender without a doubt. I'll give you the digital code anyways. 4, P for Pain, X for X-Men, 4, Q for Quinn, Q for Quinn, F for Fantastic, E for Echo, E for Echo, U for Ultron, R for Rage, H for Hotel. Now it's Venom First Coast number 3. Mike Costa is the writer, Mark Bagley, Ron Lim, pencilers, Andrew Hennessy, Scott Hanna, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, this other guy has taken the Venom symbiote, and now Eddie is without that symbiote. And so this Skrull lady gives the backstory on this guy, and you know all the bad that he's done, and how like well trained of an operative or user he is and stuff. And they're like, well, what are we gonna do? And they're like, well, there's the baby symbiote that the Venom just had. And so the baby wants to help and is like, well, we just said, like in the last issue, it's too young. And it's like, yeah, but it's going to try to do it anyways. And it's really weird and it's kind of creepy, but cool at the same time. And has different abilities. And is like, okay, we're going to team up and we're going to go get my symbiote back because we have to stop this guy. He has this plague that he's going to use on the Skrulls and could also be repurposed for humans possibly. So it's pretty interesting and it's pretty cool. I'm interested to find out more. So I'm going to keep on reading it for now. Yeah. So, I don't know, like, yeah, I think it does exactly what, because I skimmed this and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to, and then I skimmed it and I was like, oh, I've got to get this. So, and then it turned out to be pretty solid and pretty interesting. So yeah, yeah. I can give it a strong buy. I can give it a contender too. Here's the digital code. T for Tomas, M for Marcos, A for Alamos, S for Senor, E for Iluterio, M for Marcos, Q for Quintana, 8, S for Senor, Z for Zorro, Y for Yucca, N for Novela. Do I say those too fast? Tell me. I'll do it in English. Right? Last book, it is X-23 number 4. We have Mariko Tamaki, Juan Cabal, Nolan Woodard. And so one of the Stepford Cuckoos, her mind has been put into Gabby. And so that's pretty crazy. And I don't, yeah, it's just nuts. And yeah, it's crazy. It's just crazy. And the stakes are high and it's intense. And where's Gabby? Where did her mind go to? And Laura, she gets blasted off somewhere. And I think she's actually like in the mindscape. She's working with the other sister because she got involved in the thing. And yeah, it's pretty nuts. It's pretty crazy. I like it a lot. It's really interesting. It's definitely worth getting. I feel like it's a slow burn, but it is a great, strong, fiery burn. You know, that doesn't make sense. But anyways, yeah, it looks phenomenal. It's really interesting. Definitely worth it. Like I said, the stakes are high and they're doing some crazy ballsy stuff here that I didn't expect them to do. And that's what really intrigues me the most. So I can give it a strong buy and a contender. Here's the digital code. Tell me what you think. 2, A for Alpha, C for Cable, 3, P for Pain, K for Killmonger, B for Brave, T for Thomas, M for Marvel, P for Pain, 3, 5. And that's it for that. I'm going to go ahead and announce my back in bag runner-up for the week. And man, there's so many good books this week. It is just ridiculous how many good books there is. Oh man, Domino was really crazy and really awesome. But you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and give Domino away. It was a crazy ending, great conclusion. Didn't see that coming, and it was great. So because yeah, here's the digital code: T for Tomas, M for Marcos, A for Alamos, E for Iluterio, R for Rigoberto, U for Uganda, 8, H for Hector, 1, 8, J for Jacopo, and 1. So that's Domino right there. And yeah, there's so many freaking good books this week. It's just ridiculous. I'm going to have to go back into my files for the DC Comics because there was some really great stuff. I'm gonna have to go with, geez, you know, I'm gonna give away Star Wars Darth Vader. It was really cool. It's really interesting. It's really crazy, and I like it a lot. He just wants to. It's kind of like he just wants to see everything burned, like him, sort of. I don't know. It's just like he's in pain. You know, it's really great to just see that pain and that dark side stuff. Here's the digital code for Darth Vader. F for Falcon, C for Cable, M for Millennium, 5, P for Palpatine, 1, Y for Yellow, 9, 8, B for Billion, 7, M for Millennium. So there's that one. Enjoy that one right there. And I have these 2 books right here. Oh man, this book is just so good. Amazing Spider-Man and Fantastic Four. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and give away the Amazing Spider-Man number 5, as great as it is. I want to make it my runner-up, but it's not. There's so many good things that it's not. So here it is. F for Fantastic, C for Chameleon, M for Marvel, V for Victor, 3, U for Ultron, N for Nova, Z for Zarbon, G for Jameson, 4, T for Thomas. So that's a phenomenal book right there. But you know what? I'm going to have to go with the Fantastic Four as my runner-up is what I'm going to do. It was so great getting this backstory and stuff of what they've been doing, what's been going on with them. and then seeing the team and this is why it's so great. It's so great because at the end, like I said, he tricks this lady and he ends up recruiting the entire everybody who's ever been a Fantastic Four member. That's who he recruits. He's like, this is the Fantastic Four, and he recruits all of them to take her on. And yeah, it's just so great, and I can't wait for the next issue. But yeah, this is my runner-up, and let me get into why it's not my back and bag, or why the next one is the back and bag. So here's the digital code for this, and it is T for Thomas, M for Marvel, A for Attack, 0, I for Icarus, A for Attack, R for Rage, T for Thomas, M for Marvel, T for Thomas, X for X-Men, 2 right here. So I'm going to, Titans number 25 is my back and bag of the week. It looks absolutely phenomenal. And here's what does it for me. There's a lot of stuff going on. Now, we have this thing that I forgot about from the last issue with Raven. Raven has lost her powers. And so you go, what? Oh, yeah, the last issue, that person, like, traded bodies with her or whatever, like souls or something like that. She's like, yeah, I can't feel my soul self. And so, and then they just, like, keep on attacking this giant mech, and it just keeps on coming back. It's pretty awesome to see how powerful this Steel Girl is. And then Donna Troy dealing with this other guy. He's like a journalist, but he's a scientist. And then the Brother Blood group is there, and they steal this information from this journalist scientist that he's getting all this information, all these energies from. And so they use that energy, and that's going to tie into the Teen Titans, not the Titans, but Teen Titans. So that's really cool. Then they go, Dick and McGann, they go find this lady, and she has powers where she's turning them into her stories. She's like, oh, these are my stories. And so it's a Western at first. So they get sucked into, like, you know, well, no, not a Western. It's like 1920s style, you know, like they're these criminals together. And so it's really cute. And they're like trying to, it's essentially like, was my favorite part, is these two trying to figure each other out. You know, she's like, how come you don't like me? And she's like, oh, you're trying to buy like Batman. And, you know, like you hate like feeling like obsolete, you know, and stuff, and like you have no powers, and you're able to achieve all this stuff. On top of that, like you know, so you're like kind of overcompensating and stuff, and you just like, you didn't like what they did with you before, and that's affecting now. And it's just them. They're like, we have to stay true to ourselves. We can't fight and stuff. It goes to a Western. It's like it kind of looks like his old school Nightwing outfit with the tassels and stuff. And then it kind of gets back to, it's like this romance story and stuff. And then they start getting romantic together. It's like he has, you know, like they have feelings for each. And I love romance. I love love. You may or may not know from watching this podcast, but I love, and especially when it's Dick love, you know, it's great. Like I love his relationships, whether it's Corey or Babs or, you know, and now this possible one, which is McGann. And so I'm interested to see this relationship, you know, blossom. So yeah, really awesome, really crazy, really interesting. I can't wait to see more, because this is one I was gonna drop it. This got me. I'm so jacked off for the next issue and what's to come, and especially to get back to the Raven stuff too. So there's a lot of stuff going on, or a few things going on, and yeah, multiple things going on, and I can't wait to see them all where they go. So yeah, definitely strong buy, definitely contender, and that's why it's my back and bag of the week. Really interesting and all that. So yeah, that's it for me. So tell me what you think of all the comics. Please tell me, you know, even if it's just a strong buy, you know, if it's your back and bag, if it's your runner up, if it's a contender for you, you know, strong buy, at whatever grade you give it, just like just a quick tweet or a quick post, you know, a quick comment on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, you know, anything. Please get on there and tell me what you think of these books. Otherwise, I'm going to start giving them away through other means, through Facebook or Twitter or Instagram instead, because people aren't commenting through here, you know. So yeah, find somewhere else that's more interactive. So, but you can find all of that stuff at TNTM the Show. That's our website, and that's everything, the stuff that I just mentioned. So thank you for watching, viewing, listening, whatever. And I really appreciate it. And the trades, I'm start doing a trades cast weekly, depending on the trades that we get, instead of being part of this, just because it's easier and it's nicer, creates more content. You know, it's separate, and then it doesn't make this as long. So yeah. So talk nerdy to me, And keep your ojos hungry for comics.